because you're still in the city, uh, what has been the hardest thing for you living in the city and being prepared, for events, major disasters, emergencies?
Um, Space is a problem for a lot of people. For me right now, not so much, but space is the number one problem. Where to put your items, where to put your food, where to put your water if you can store it, right? This apartment is pretty big, so I could store away some good amount of food. But for the
Mhm.
average person who lives in an average size apartment, it's always a nightmare to put away stuff. And how much of it do you need? And that's always a question. Well, what do I start with? I say go
Mhm.
for a month out of the gates, right? Try not to, like if you don't have money, go a week at a time. But if you have some money that you can sacrifice, go a month at a time. In a month, it's really easy. But if you're straining and you're holding on, you're counting your pennies, I would say a week at a time every time you go shopping. And then you set aside that food for the week for your closet or wherever you're going to put it on, a shelf system, whatever it is.
Yep.
Water is another big problem because again, the city, we are reliant on a system that if it does crash, no water for us. Now, yes, so there are places you can get water from, absolutely, but you don't want to do that for the long term. You want to start drinking out the back of your toilet or standpipe water. You don't want to do all that shit. So you have to come up with a plan. And that's the hardest problem for us. Now, water catchment system is great, but when you're in a city like New York, you're at the will of the weather, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And like if you can go, we can go 2, 3 weeks without rain. And in that
Mhm.
amount of time, you can go through a serious amount of water, right? So you have to come up with a backup plan. And one of the backup plans is getting out of the city. Not in a backup plan. That should be your first plan. Your backup plan should
Right.
be staying if you have to. But your
Right.
first plan should be getting out of the city, especially if you don't have access to fresh water.
Right. Right. Yeah.